Hello.
Hello. How are you guys? How's it going, Regina?
Doing well, doing well. Guess I'll
Good evening.
remove the glamour shot. Reality.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What do you
Oh,
think? We're gonna get snow?
not looking forward to it. I see 5 inches or something. Oh, you have a haircut. You cut your
Oh
hair, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Chopped it off.
yes.
Felt like it was time.
I like to switch it, although now lately I've just been low maintenance.
It's winter, so it's not like we're seeing that many people these days, I feel like.
Yep. Hibernation season.
Yep.
Where is this? Mm, mm, mm.
Hey Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hope everybody's good.
All right, maybe like 2 more minutes. Maybe someone else will jump on.
Alrighty.
We got 8 people. I think that's the most we've ever had.
Might be small
It
but
feels
mighty.
that way. Oh, 9. Wow, this is amazing. We'll just wait like a minute or two and see if we get anybody else. So I see note taker Kenya. Does that mean that Kenya is taking the notes or no?
Yeah, it's from Caribbean, Kenya from Caribbean. It's a automatic note taker that pops up. I usually
Oh,
forget
cool.
it's there, so it's yeah.
Okay. So do we have anybody who wants to take notes?
I mean, I guess it's me.
Thanks, Regina. I mean, I can jot down things too. Let's just get started. I think we got more people than we've ever had, so let's just get going. This is my first time. I guess I did a meeting before, but I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing, so interrupt me if you feel like I'm going astray, but I think we all know to be polite to each other and try not to cut each other off. This is just an open conversation. I just want to welcome everybody. I'm Vanessa. And I missed the last meeting because I was at the City of Yes meeting and they kind of overlapped. So does anyone want to fill me in on anything that happened, or fill everybody in on what you guys talked about?
It was mainly, I don't want to say it's mainly a catch up, but there was just some handoff, like some things that we needed to follow up. There was a link. I can never remember the name. Link, whatever it is. The links.
NYC. Yeah.
NYC.
Yes, Link NYC. There was the obviously like I Am Caribbean. They spoke about what a lot of the initiatives that they're doing, which is awesome. We talked also about Diane Richardson. So she used to have a guide with all the stuff we already talked. We were just
Okay.
recapping those things. So how we really needed to follow up on the Link NYC because there's a lot of opportunity to advertise, hey, sign up for the newsletter, and then
Yeah.
also new businesses. Timing on other holiday things. That's why that little book to like support businesses. I feel like those are some of the biggest things. I don't know if Lisa, if you recall anything else.
I think that was essentially what we talked about.
Okay. And then Shelly, I see you're on the call. Do you want to give us a recap of what's going on with I Am Caribbean right now? I saw your new location. It looks great. Well, I guess it's not new anymore, but newish.
Hi, it's actually Kenya from Caribbean.
Hey, Kenya.
I'm the program manager. Hello. So yes, the storefront. So we opened up our storefront November 30th, and we have our ongoing market there. We had a couple events over the holidays, like candle making classes, kind of in-store experiences there, and we will continue to have them. We actually have some upcoming programming this month. So on February 19th, we are celebrating the anniversary of the Trees of Little Caribbean exhibit. I don't know if you've all been to Brooklyn Botanic Garden and have seen the signage throughout the garden. A lot of it links back to either recipes that can be found at different businesses, or it can be linked to actual plants that you can buy at different locations. And we are celebrating that on February 19th at the garden. There will be a food demo with a local chef from Flatbush Cake and Market, Chef Isra from Mint Porch. Then on February 25th, we will have a in-store experience, which will be a sip and paint, Caribbean Carnival themed. And then on February 29th, we have a winter garden fete, and this will also be celebrating our Trees of Little Caribbean anniversary, and that'll be on February 29th, also at Brooklyn Botanic Garden. I can share the links for those if anybody would like to attend. I'd be happy for you all to join us, but those are the main events that we have going on there. And if you all are interested, you can stop by the storefront, 1399 Nostrand Avenue, for goods from Caribbean, as well as from local vendors, as well as from the Caribbean diaspora. And we do have an art wall in there that currently has our Life of Basquiat exhibit up.
And are you guys open every day, or when are
We
you
are open Thursday to Saturday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. and then on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. And then the all those great events you were talking about, are they on the Instagram website? Where should people find them?
So a lot of it is on Eventbrite.
Okay.
I can share the links with you all, but we are posting it, and it is in our link in bio on our Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great, great. Well, the storefront looks really great. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And how's it going over there? Are you finding traffic? Tell us.
It has definitely slowed down after the holidays. We do have people coming in. It's starting to pick back up again, which we had a feeling like in January it would slow
Yeah.
down, and then February it would start to kick up. So we're ramping it up, and I'm definitely excited for the new events that we have coming up this year.
And are the events, do you pay for the events? Are they free? How does it work?
It's a mixture.
Okay.
So the events that are happening at Brooklyn Botanic Garden are the events are free, but with garden admission. And then the sip and paint that's coming up is a paid event as well. But it just really depends. We have a mixture of free, a mixture of paid. A lot of our events are mostly free. Just the upcoming ones with like the garden do require an entry admission. And then once you're in the garden, you're welcome to any of the events that happen inside.
Great. Okay, that is great. Thank you for telling us about it. So, Dante and I have been talking, and we feel like the Economic Development Committee can do more besides just say, well, these are resources, this is this is that. And we were hoping that we can do more coming up. So if you've noticed, our neighborhood seems to be a little disjointed with each avenue operating as its own thing. And Flatbush and Nostrand and Utica don't really communicate much. And a lot of people don't know about a lot of businesses, and we want to get people out and into the businesses. And we really think that true economic development means that people need to go into your store and know what you're selling and shop your store. And they're not going to know that if we don't push them to learn about us or to learn about what's going on. So we were thinking that we could have a breakfast for all the business owners in the district. And we talked to Celine. Is her name Celine or Cecile? It's Celine, right?
Celine, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I always get confused. But anyway, we talked to Celine. She owns Sweet Catch, and then she has a bar up a little further.
Hello Bar.
Hello Bar in the North Nostrand Avenue Merchants Association. She used to be the president of it. Anyway, she and Dante and I were talking about having a breakfast. She said she could host it, but we were thinking that maybe we could do some sort of potluck thing, or somebody brings coffee, somebody brings whatever. But it would be a great way for, first of all, the business owners to meet each other, because I don't think a lot of business owners know each other around here. The agenda is a little bit, we thought it could be loose, like, hey, we want you guys to know each other. We want everybody to meet. Maybe partnerships will just spur off. Oh, I've always loved your shop. I never met you. So nice to meet you. Maybe it'll take a little bit more to develop partnerships, but a good first step to getting the neighborhood sort of together would just be an easy breakfast, where we were the hosts, because it seems like Flatbush has its own merchants association, which isn't functioning great, and Nostrand has its own one, and then North Nostrand. I don't even know if Rogers has a merchants association. And then we've talked about Utica doesn't have a merchants association. And from what I've seen, I don't want to like say anything bad, but it doesn't seem like there's much leadership going on. And so maybe we as a committee can help lead and bring people together, at least so people know each other, and then we can develop things off of that. So, what do you guys think of that? Yeah, Regina, go for it.
I mean, I do like the idea. I think at the end of the day that, hey, entrepreneurship can sometimes be a lonely road. So
Yeah.
I'm at home doing my technology stuff here. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I think maybe there could be a little bit more because we've talked early on about just resources, even if it's just the smallest thing of just combining some of the resources that already exist to make sure people are with what's out there. Obviously, reminding them, like I think us hosting makes sense just to know that, hey, this exists. But I would say like any sort of maybe even just the smallest thing of just talking with resources. So it's definitely something like don't just it's not just social hour, which is always fun.
Right.
You get some resources out of it because when your time is running and maybe it's just you, it can be a real easy thing to come up with an excuse to opt out. But I think it's
Right.
totally beneficial to be able to network and us to get the corridors connected.
Lisa.
Regina, you're always stealing my thoughts.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good idea. I would structure it, maybe have like networking for like 20 minutes before, have some sort of agenda, just like Regina said, with some of the resources
Mhm.
that's available, who we are, and how maybe we can be of some service to them, and how invite them to this committee as well,
Yeah.
because I think having them here might be helpful to us to understand their concerns and how we can better help them. And then finish off again with some more networking, right? And that could also be a way to gather their information, which we sorely don't have.
Right. Right.
And maybe then include things like, how Kenya was talking about events, like even just a little moment just to talk about any kind of, if they want to highlight what they're doing. Yeah, there's probably ways people can partner and all sorts of stuff. So
That's a great idea. Maybe we could give each person like a minute to introduce themselves and talk about any events that they have going on. Like we do a little networking, we talk about who we are, and then we open the floor for them to each introduce themselves and tell us about like what they're working on right now, what events they're having, how they've reached out to the community to get more people into their shops, bars, whatever, because that information will help everybody.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Events. Sorry.
Right. And I wouldn't, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have the event be too long either, because
Yeah.
that's taken away from their shops.
Yeah.
If it's, we have to just figure out what the sweet spot is for the timing.
Right.
And then hopefully maybe this can be like a quarterly event or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be great. I mean, even just like twice a year, it would be awesome.
they could
Um,
maybe submit some stuff in advance, like if they have events or whatever, or something coming up, and then that's something we could just put in a thing or
flyer or
a
something.
screen or whatever, do whatever we need to do, or the email or something.
Right.
There's probably ways to do that, or if it's a new business, maybe a new business or maybe an old business, or just have it like a structure where, like you said, twice a year, quarterly or something, and then it's just a few get a chance to start, even volunteers. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like a one pager that we like could have that has resources, SBA, that those kinds of websites on it. What might be helpful, like Community Board 9, is giving you these resources that might help you. The other thing that I think that we have to figure out is, I mean, I'd like to invite everybody, but I think we need to gather some leaders. And make sure that they are on board so we can get more people. If we can identify a few leaders on each corridor, they'll be able to help us spread the word. Am I supposed to be admitting these people, or is somebody okay? Somebody else.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know. So like I'm on Flatbush, so I know a lot of people on Flatbush, but maybe you guys could help identify people on other corridors who might know a lot of people, or, just be people who are leaders on their corridor, because we need leaders to come, to the meetings so they can help us get other people to come, I feel like.
Right.
Um,
Can
and
I'm sorry,
yeah,
can we create like a flyer or something that we can take?
yeah.
That was, see, you're in my brain.
Yeah, totally.
that
That we can just bring to every business up and down, and maybe like we all tackle a different area,
Just a corridor and just go
just
right up.
hand them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Put like a
And have
QR
some
code.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I just jumped in kind of late. Excuse the redundancies, but which initiative are you guys speaking to specifically right now?
So we're talking about a new idea that Dante and I were talking about having a breakfast for the business owners of CB9, and having a sort of a potluck situation where people bring food so it's not on one business, but as a good way for people to meet each other, because Flatbush and Utica for sure do not communicate. Nostra and Rogers. I mean, there's a lot of different corridors that are not combining in this way. And we're all part of the same neighborhood. We have a lot of the same customer base. I think it's important for us to know each other as business
Yep.
owners, and as the community board, just being like, here, we're here to help you. We have lots of resources for you, but we also think it's a good idea for you guys to also know each other so you can, network and do projects together and that sort of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be great. And Lisa and Regina were saying maybe we could do like a 20-minute networking at the beginning, and then we sort of introduce ourselves as CB9. This is what we do. These are the resources that we have if you guys need us. And then each person could sort of like go through and give like a 1-minute thing about who they are and their business and things that they have, events that they have going on. I think it would be great to also invite the electeds. I talked to Assemblymember Cunningham, and he's like totally wants to come if it's on a Thursday or a Friday. He said it would be better just because he won't be in Albany. But getting like as many electeds just to be there, learn about our businesses, see what our concerns are, that sort of thing, and help, because they're also a part of the project, the process of.
Yeah, I think we should encourage them also to this is the place to talk about what might be a struggle for them. All right. And
Yeah.
then say, yes, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about on the Economic Development Committee. We welcome you to come to the Economic Committee so we can try to figure out how to help you.
Yeah, I would love for some of them to come.
Dante's dancing.
I like it.
I would love for them to come. I mean, we can invite anyone to our meetings, so business owners should be here. There should be other business owners that are talking about what their issues are, because we don't know unless they tell us. Okay, so everybody thinks this is a good idea. So I guess we need to figure out our agenda, and we need to figure out a flyer.
What timing would we want? Obviously, like time to pull it together. So we need a few like this. I'm like TNA.
Yeah, we
time
need
and action
meeting.
calendar, project management. So just like to even put together a flyer, to talk to everyone. So are we looking at? I mean, March is around the corner, so it's really like April. For Q2, yes, beginning Q2. I mean that could be something, a target like set in April, whatever, as a goal, and then maybe we survey to see what kind of day makes the best day.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, we'll have to have at least
Yes.
2 more meetings, right? Because at least.
April. Depends when you do it in April, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the meeting.
Yeah, so we could do it like the end of April, maybe.
There's no holidays, right?
Right.
There's Easter and Passover, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think all of.
So it might be also warmer. I don't know. Now we're getting all into the.
I think a spring event sounds good to me. new beginnings, something like that.
Yeah. When are they out of session in Albany? Like June? So that wouldn't even matter. I think it's June. Anyway. Okay, great. So maybe like
Early May could probably be good because if there's any Memorial Day shopping or whatever vibes, you're getting ready for summer. Hey, I come outside in June. So
Yeah.
like if people were to let those things, then if anything comes out of it, it could go in the like newsletters. Maybe we can finally get the Link NYC thing up and maybe we get something with interesting things happening in Community Board 9 or whatever. So I feel like almost like beginning of May might be that's plenty of time to have meetings.
Yep.
And then spring is springing.
I also had another thought. To manage how many people might be coming, would it be worth it to say that they need to sign up?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should have like a QR code or something so they can say like we're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it shoots back to the community board and then okay.
Yeah. I have a QR code basically with like a Google link on it. They sign
Mm-hmm.
up and then we'll be able to see who's registered. And then we can
And then
always
we'll
do a
have their
follow-up
email.
with them. Right. And then it'll be easy to just follow up with them and confirm, a week before, are you still planning on attending? And then we'll be able to solidify some numbers.
And you know what? Since that outstanding thing, because of the hand, the shop guide or whatever have you, because some stores were gone like that. Actually, this might
Yeah.
be the opportunity as we're handing things, they can update their information. So whatever we need for that, and then passes it on to if Brian's gonna own that still, then
Yeah, we should bring that and like spread it out and everyone can update their things or add their add their store if it's not on there or cross
Or I
off.
think the survey, like if there's a registration, if anybody could just like survey their thing and then like add their address, whatever, yada yada, every detail we
Right.
need, which isn't a lot.
Right.
And then
Their
they
name, the
know
shop
you're-
name, where they're located, and
Right.
maybe
The
a
manager.
contact email.
Yeah, point of
Contact.
contact. Yeah.
Website if they have one and their Instagram if they have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would it be too much to possibly include a box for them to maybe just write a quick reference of a common problem they have, or just like information capturing? That'll probably help kind of, get things moving once we have the meeting, we have everyone together, and then it'll make it a
Makes
lot
sense.
easier for you guys when you're collecting information after the meeting as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like
makes
maybe
sense.
anything else we need to know or
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Right.
Especially if maybe some people say they're gonna come, but can't come, but we still have their information.
yeah.
right. Then you still have the problems that they're going through, and maybe you can find some common things through that list before it could help get rid of all the talking and everything in between. Although that is helpful.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
ideally, if there are problems that have persist, I would like to get them addressed before the meeting. Ideally, but I like the idea.
I mean, yeah,
People also love food, so if we can get a local vendor, that would be amazing. Give them business and let other people gravitate towards them as well.
Yeah, agreed. Some snacks and coffee and stuff. And what do you guys think about time? Like 9 a.m.? Does that feel like it's too late? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of people in the neighborhood don't open till 11, but then there's a lot of people who have morning businesses. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like most stores are closed at 8, 9 a.m.
Why not put that on the application
yeah.
form as well? If you have like a suggested time, or maybe we set a time, or like, a soft time, and then folks can also just vote, does this time work? Would you rather this? Or that way you'll get the majority of who it works for.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We could have like what days and times work best for you.
Yeah.
Great. Somebody has their hand up who has an iPhone, but there's no name. Oh, they're gone.
Hi. Hi, I'm sorry. That's me.
Hey.
Hey, I'm Allison Samuels, and I've been on this committee for a minute and have been very intermittent in attendance. So apologies, and it's very good to be here. Hi, thank you. I think just echoing, I think this is a wonderful idea. I have a small business, but in East Williamsburg, I live in CB9 though. And if you need help with a flyer, I am more than happy to make that or help out with that. So just wanted to volunteer.
Oh, sweet. Great. Thanks.
Love that. That's less work I have to do. You're good at it. Listen, I'll send you the logo. It's all perfect. Love it.
Good at it is like relative, but I have some InDesign skills. So yes.
Well, if you can use InDesign, you're good at it.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah.
So they're like Canva queen over here.
Honestly, Canva, I might switch to Canva, but yeah.
It's really pretty good, Canva.
works.
Okay, great. So I still think that we should identify some leaders that we maybe want to talk to. Like, hey, we're thinking about having this breakfast. Would that be something that you would be interested in? Like, do you guys know? Do you have some relationships with small businesses that are close to your house, or
I have
how
no
are you
shame
guys
in like
feeling about it?
reaching out. But I guess that's where that flyer go, like to be able to introduce and have a conversation of having just a mini something to just here's what's going on. We want to make sure you're informed, but hey, it's a conversation. You can see who's the leader by the time you actually start to
That's a good point.
chat a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Or just also take a volunteer in that survey. Hey, would you like to actually lead in blah blah blah? That can also be a question as well.
And maybe we can get more people to want to come to our meetings if they come to the breakfast and they're like, oh, wow, this is a great resource. Because this is like this is a 4, 8, 12, 13 people. This is amazing. Okay, actually one of them's an AI, so that's all right. Okay, so what do you guys think the next steps are? Making the flyer. And then we can do we need to do anything else as like a first step besides make the flyer? What do you guys think?
We need the information solidified as to what we want to ask them. So Dante can do his magic with the QR code.
In these notes, so we want to RSVP for this event. That's one of the things, obviously. Contact information, so website, social media, the address. So if we pass it on to the books, who's contact names? Do you want to specify that? Like, is there a manager and who's the owner? You know, 2 different ones.
Maybe we do like best person to contact.
Fair enough, even that. And then there was a survey, so issues that you're having. I think maybe maybe we want to have an open-ended one, so it surveys it out and actually quantifies it, and then you have the comment, me, my data self. And then what do we have? Date and times that work best for connections in general, for future reference. And do we also want to just pick a date and just go with it?
Yes, I think the first one we just pick a date, and then
yeah, I think the first one we should. I mean, maybe we hear like Friday mornings are best for me. And then if we get like 1 million people who are like Friday mornings, and we're like, okay, we do it Friday. But
my
like
question,
an exact date.
So the flyers have to get done. So I don't know how many lead time is for that. And then, so we have to get them out. Response time, there's that. I'm just not sure if we should just pick a date on like that makes the most sense where we can support. And then the second one that we have, if we go for like a half in, twice a year type thing, that's where we start to maneuver the right day and the right time, whatever have you, because it's going to delay and then come and go.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, I think the first one, what do we think we can do? Right.
Yeah, should we have a question on the QR when they click in to put in their information? Like, who would you like to see at this meeting?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a,
Actually, I would rather us talk about what we do here and who can we bring here.
that's a good point. Because we're only gonna have so much time. We did talk about
Right.
how much time is this event gonna be, and if we want to dedicate it to here's some resources, here's what CB9 does for you, here's what, economic development. By the time if we highlight any businesses, blah, 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 like time might have gone on, and we also wanted to designate networking time, beginning and end. So 2 hours could easily be gone
Yeah.
before a politician might show up to
Yeah.
politicians do what politicians do. And maybe they could come to this and we can actually really have a productive meeting. So I think that's a good point, Lisa.
So you're saying do like a tighter structure of like what's going to happen at the meeting?
Hmm.
I think it should be set, right? I think the first meeting is really about who are the business owners in the district and how can they all see one another, introduce one another, get to know each other, and from our QR code, kind of understanding what their concerns are and seeing how we can funnel them here to say, okay, this is where we try to strive to get over the hump and really solve what's going on. And then here we can add, invite other people and all this other stuff. Sorry, Regina.
No, you didn't finish. I was like, where's the hand? I think in that, dang it, did I lose my point trying to reply? So collecting that data and having the conversations and opening up, it gives the opportunity with all that time to then share it with whoever they would like to start to see eventually. So if the politicians have to do their politician stuff, they can come in and have more feedback and then navigate stuff from there and then have follow up. So it's a little bit more, or in this conversation, then we can have that productivity.
So I know for me that it's like kind of dead, and then May and June are busy again. So I'm only wondering if we maybe want to, if there's any way we can push it to the end of April before May starts. And then we just have the flyer and it has the date that we decide. And then from there, they can go to the QR code and put in all their information and everything else. But it's like, hey, we're having this event. It's going to be April 30th. We'd love all the business owners to come. We could write like a few bullet points about what we want to have accomplished, like as a networking event with also where we can share our resources with you guys and hear your concerns. I don't want it to feel like people who are maybe established are like, I don't need to go to that. I already know how to do my business. Like, I want them to feel like they should go. So maybe some verbiage in it about like the importance of building community. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Hmm.
I'm good with the end of, I think if we're keeping it so tight, there's so many resources we already have, right? And then we're introducing the economic development committee. So that would be like that. And then just to give the date, like I feel like the end of April could technically work. If we're just talking date.
Christopher?
Oh, I forgot I had my hand up there still. Thank you. You guys kind of answered the question I had. I was trying to list our priorities in order of importance. So whether it be the resources that we're trying to bring out, it seems like it's more so about getting the community businesses involved within this group here, and then identifying the problems, maybe the common issues that they have, and then getting a network where they can continue to be together, correct?
I think so. I think it's important just to build community, like to bridge the gap between the avenues.
Totally agree. So this might be kind of out there, but in the same way that we're trying to promote this community kind of aspect here, would it be possible to maybe also allow the local businesses, folks who may want to host these events later on down the line, say, hey, look, okay, the first one's April 1st. I want to volunteer, I don't know, April 23rd to do the next one. So it allows you guys to have a multitude of venue spaces. And then it also kind of, makes the other business owners more excited to share what they're doing with others and about what they're doing. And then it keeps everything fresh, and that if you want to do this as a continued series, part of it forces the attendee to see all of the businesses that are within their district, because we are going, between these different areas. You can maybe also argue that it gets a little difficult having too many addresses, but again, depending on how you want to prioritize that, the sake of getting folks from Flatbush over to Utica, or kind of having them do a continuous circuit.
Lisa, did you want to say something? You have your hand up.
Yes, I also had another thought. Would we want to, at that time during the event, to say like, we are looking to do something like the shop local? So we need all your information, and we want to be able to highlight your businesses and what we're trying to do. And hopefully they can help us, give us information to inform that.
Yeah, because I think what we want is for next holiday season for us to know, like,
Right. So we need their
rambling
information
on
now.
December 5th about who the
Right.
businesses are in our neighborhood. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Jean Renee, did you have something to say? See your hand raised.
You're muted.
You're on mute. There we go.
Oh.
Just kidding.
You're on. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, so I just got it there. I fell asleep. So I think that you're trying to do, like, if I hear well, we're trying to do like an event where we invite everybody from our community to come and then introduce each other and trying to see what we can do. Yeah, is that right? Or
Yeah.
work together, or then at the end trying to make a flyer for the next holidays for all the people living on CB9, right? Got
Yep.
it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's good, but I think like what you should do, like I said, that you need to able to invite those people on entertainment business and restaurant. Like if you got all the theater or restaurant that can be associated with all those people who have restaurant next to it, get a deal. Partnerships also. And there's a lot of the grocers like Western beef. You can give them a discount. You have to go buy some oxtail, or even work in bulk, because they in CB9, so they can have a lower deal for it. And then even go to a theater, they can give you a restaurant like a ticket, like 10% at that restaurant if you go to the theater. So also that, so you can work together and see who work on that. I mean, in what field, and how can you link them together to to give people a deal, and then at the end you can give that to our community, that you can go shop. I mean, at the end of the year, and then have a discount. Just so you need to get that event where you can introduce people and so who is who in the business, and also what is the plan and benefit to know each other. Okay, that's it. Am I right or wrong? So that's
So
it.
you mean like a discount book that we put together
Yeah.
for the holiday
from
season?
Huh? Yes, that was who. I mean, if you're part of CB9, like Western beef is like a big supermarket down to.
Yeah.
It's not, but we do nice oxtail from for groceries, where like, other beef, other thing you get for like very cheap. So if you can approach them, you see, if you get like one like a mom and pop restaurant or bar in CB9, you got an extra discount of 10% or 5%. So we go by every week. And then for that, and then we can work together, like partnerships also. And then there's a lot of like there's unity theater or restaurant. It can become like Apollo in Harlem. Apollo theater is even a lot of people in the neighborhood. So if you go to the theater, you got dinner there on CB9, you got dinner, you got discount, and they can all work together. But things that you have to link everything together, like even make or district more vibrant. And then bring people up from uptown to come to see a movie, to come to see a show, and then they can have dinner next door on Franklin. Make it a deal. It's just bring people on CB9. So it should become a destination. Also we got a deal. So you come from uptown, you come from Pax Club, you can come to Pax Club to go to, you come to Nelson Avenue, Franklin Avenue dinner, but you get a little discount for it. So
Yeah, that's a
it.
good idea. I think that we're hoping that when people meet each other, that they will be like,
Yeah.
oh, we should do like a dinner and a whatever kind
Like
of
the movie, all dinner and a show.
yeah,
After,
dinner and a
yeah.
show. Like we work together, you come here, eat dinner, and then you can go to the show and you get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can buy some groceries here, Western Union, or Western Beef. I will give a discount. You get, you buy a 10 pound of oxtail, and then whatever. It's just like, we all have to be partnerships. So.
Yeah, and maybe that organically happens, but maybe we can try to like lead people to have that happen.
Yeah.
I think is what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Allison?
Hi. Yeah, I was skeptical as you were just talking just now in the beginning, and I'm like really coming around to that idea. But as like a modern, or not like not a modern, like a neighborhood, like instead of having like a one store punch card, like buy 10, get your 11th cup of coffee free or whatever, maybe there's some kind of like neighborhood punch card that we can like begin offering, or like a little booklet, a digital booklet or something like that, where like we're incentivizing residents or non-residents, whomever, to be patroning these businesses over and over again. We're like creating repeat customers by having this like neighborhood discount booklet, but you only get the discount if you like continue to patron the stores. But actually the thing that I had originally raised my hand to say was something I'm like now jumping off of what Lisa had shared, which I was thinking about also too. Perhaps, I mean, I do, like I'm speaking now also as a small business owner, and like with the time as the scarcest of resources, and like why would people want to be coming to like spending their early morning hours with us, and thinking like, okay, so they have to be incentivized, not just for breakfast. I think community building is wonderful, but like also if they're promised some kind of promotion too, even if it's like you'll be included in this like neighborhood map or resource guide or like whatever of small businesses, if you're like coming to this or another event and you're sharing your information, like I'm not sure, I don't think that necessarily is like the carrot that's going to get anybody to this meeting. But I think if we're, I don't know, trying to like develop the larger neighborhood network of small businesses, I would imagine that they would want to be included in something like that. So anyway, yeah, thanks.
Vanessa, you're muted.
Sorry. It's blowing my nose and I didn't want to gross you guys out. Maybe we put somewhere on the flyer, like come to our events so we can make sure that we include you on our neighborhood map of all the businesses as we're updating, moving forward, trying to get more people involved. I think that Kara Being who's on this call is actually a great resource because they are very successful in getting people to our neighborhood with their food tours and stuff like that, and just like teaching people about Caribbean culture, and they've been doing it for a long time. So Kenya, do you want to say anything about your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so we actually have done a kind of the programming that you were talking about with the discounts. We called it our My Little Caribbean Perks program. And we did it last summer. We did it, I think it's best to kind of have them commit to maybe a short amount of time. I think it's a little bit more challenging to have a business commit a little bit long term just so they can kind of see the benefits of it. So we did it just for the month of June and did it just for Caribbean American Heritage Month. So the businesses that did participate had different discounts, offers that they had for that month. And we actually did have a business that continued that programming. So when people come in, they have like a punch card for people to punch in their cards. And then we also have our own directory. Essentially, it's our Little Caribbean passport. And with that passport has over 100 businesses where you can eat, shop, and lime that we update and continue to add different businesses and different sections twice a year. So we already had our holiday edition that we showcased during our holiday market, and then we have another one coming up for it. But there definitely is having incentives to bring people into these events and showing them the benefits of it, I think definitely will help. A lot of times you do have like older businesses who are like, oh, I've done this way, it's fine. I'll keep doing it that way. Or sometimes they don't see the benefits of just simple marketing tactics that you can do, like with the Link NYC campaigns, and showing them like, hey, I know most of the times we have run into businesses asking just for straight just funding. And sometimes we can't always give them that, but trying to navigate them to other resources with going to these webinars to learn how to market your business, making a website, making an Instagram, and showing them that these are the options you really should gear towards you that can help spread your business out to more people, inviting more businesses to it. And we actually met with Celine as well and introduced her to the SBS like city funders portal, which I don't think many businesses know about. And that's an option which I know they're trying to push to get more people to sign up and see what things that they can possibly be connected with. But I definitely like the idea of like this networking event and getting people together. And for the directory you're all talking about, is that already live somewhere? Because I don't think I've seen it.
Diana Richardson created a directory
Okay.
before COVID. It's obviously a little outdated, but that's like a starting point where we're at, but we want to update that list.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, awesome. And I think that this would definitely be great for Kara Being to join with this, because this is something we have been doing, and like Celine is a part of, like just going up Notion, like Allen's Bakery, Le Bay Market. Those are all the businesses that we have either worked with on our like tours, or we know those businesses. So I think this would be definitely a great opportunity just to have business also meet face to face. I think a lot of them kind of stick to the businesses that are maybe by them and don't really branch out further to businesses on different corridors.
Yeah. I was just thinking while you said that, another resource that we might want to bring to the breakfast is I can't remember what the organization is called, but there's lots of summer interns that they want. I mean, they've been trying to give me interns, but I'm like, I don't really want one. But somebody might want one, and they'll give you like 1 or 2 college or high school?
Yeah, it's they have SYEP, futures and
Yeah,
options, and then
SYEP.
there's CTE. I think the age limit for SYEP is 24, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Um, and then futures and options, I think theirs is, I think 18, if I'm not mistaken. But it kind of ranges, but I think they're pretty much the same age range, if I'm actually not mistaken now. Yeah, so those are different options. I know they're always looking. I've been told that they have more interns than sometimes businesses.
Yeah.
And so I know they definitely would be really excited to have more businesses pop up. And then it's a great way to get students out there learning about different businesses, but then also giving the businesses another hand with whatever they might need.
Exactly. And the city pays for it. So
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a great thing to also utilize and let people know, like, hey, you can teach somebody that maybe potentially might come back and work for your business when they graduate or something like that. But this is also just a way to help you out if you can't really afford to pay people for your business, but you still need that extra help, and that's another way to connect them with something.
Lisa?
Thanks. A couple of things. One, I think Canarsie did some sort of passport also.
Okay.
I don't know what's community board they're in. I saw a family member who was going around to each of the businesses and getting stamped. So I think it might work, what you're talking about. Two, I took a look at April. End of April is Passover,
Mm,
so that's not going to work.
no.
So we do need to find a date. And with the timeline of things, right? What's the best way to work offline so we don't have to wait till the next committee meeting to discuss this stuff?
Great question. do you
Yeah, I would say Google Doc is a safe way. Just because it's like an ongoing thread that in the event that someone needs to foil it, it's all there and it stays out of your personal emails. So that's like the cleanest way to do it. What I can do is I will essentially send an email. Let me just take a look at who's on your committee. We might be able to just do this right now.
If people update the Google Doc, will other people get an email that says it's been updated? Have to go back and check it.
I don't know if Google Doc does
You have to
that.
comment them. You have to at
Oh,
them.
yeah, you can
Okay.
comment.
Okay.
All right. So, as long as the committee members who are on now are fine with me sharing their email address amongst you all, then I can do that. And then, yeah, that'll be easy. And you can just start a Google Doc.
Put my hand back up.
Okay, great.
All right. So now we just have to assign people to some stuff. So we know Allison is going to be working on the flyer. Allison, when do you think you can get a draft of the flyer?
Sorry, I'm in the laundromat right now. I think I was under the impression that a flyer was going to be more helpful for like once there was a date and like the actual event established, but then I was hearing maybe later there was interest in having like a pre-flyer to the flyer, or like the flyer that is like inviting people to the idea of the meeting and then like a flyer to the meeting. Am I misunderstanding?
Can I just recap? That's what my hand's for. Just to wheel it back in. So my notes. So we need to figure out the timing. So it's maybe looking like May, but the flyer, I have some points. Feel free to make it cuter, but in general, we're preparing for the future full of opportunities for CB9 to support the promotion of our local businesses. Join us to connect business owners, learn about how we can support you, as well as hear about additional resources available to you. Please take the survey, RSVP for the event, as well as share additional information. QR code, sign up thing, website, social media address, best contact name. survey, like the question also, issues you're having, open comments, who would you like to see, day and times that work best for you for future connections. Would you like to host an event in the future in your location in the future? Also highlighting other comments. So the internship program, separate comment too, is the last meeting we did talk about interns, so the potential opportunity for CB9 to have interns. So I think even with these forms coming in, maybe they can actually do a digital guide or something like that. Their technology sense is probably 1,000 times better than like I do my little thing, but okay. New generation. So there's that, but then also definitely love the idea of these other interns, and that idea of, I think even in this connection that we give is just the opportunity of interns. They need the skill sets and learning, and they can get you up to speed on social media or do little things. Say they get credit, interns, as long as they're in school, and they get credit, technically, then you're from a from a cost perspective, it's not as crazy. Just a little bit of training here and there. So there is that, but definitely I did already bullet point, and I'll email this link to you, Dante, of just the notes that I've taken in the Google Drive to share out with whomever. But yeah, I've taken the note of the whole agenda piece, but then the flyer separately, so we can pass that off to you. Get rolling.
Should we pick a date?
Yeah.
I
Day of
said
the week
date.
or weekend, do you think is?
Definitely during the week.
That's what I think. You think like a Tuesday, Monday, like early in the week? Because usually sales, like the way, leisure time is weekend, Friday through. So you want to stay away from.
I would
I
say,
think it's like
know what?
earlier in the week.
Yeah, earlier in the week.
yeah, so like maybe a Tuesday, but the Tuesday is April 30th. We could do May 7th.
May 7th, that's a Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, because that last week in April is school vacation week, Passover. When is Easter?
The 5th.
Oh, the 5th is Easter. Oh. Wait, no. Is Orthodox Easter and Catholic Easter on the same weekend?
No, so Passover is, hold on. I'm looking at
22nd.
the calendar. Easter is the 31st of March. Orthodox Easter is the 5th.
Oh, wow. It's the 31st of March. That's so early.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, we could do the 7th. Does that work for people? It's a Tuesday.
It works for me for now. And 9 a.m. we were talking about potentially, right?
I think so.
At least we'll go around, see what the turnout is like. We're gonna have a cute flyer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Envisioned. And then go from there. And then the next one, obviously, we'll have the best time. And then we'll go from
And this gives those who may have to realign their schedules, because I have a day job to try and be there to support.
Great.
Do we want to set it up? Oh, no, I don't know. I was gonna say like it's in person, but like, yeah, the whole virtual.
Oh, like a Zoom too?
Yeah, it could get a little janky.
Yeah, because then people might not come because they'll
exactly.
be like, watch it on Zoom.
Right.
Yeah. Save that for another time. Maybe like in the winter, if we do like a, prep for the holidays or whatever, and it's 30 degrees outside, that could be something that we could potentially do. Because there's a lot of stuff that you could do to actually enhance your sales opportunities, and maybe people can do. Technically, you should probably do it much earlier.
Yeah.
On a retail calendar.
Zoom call is not a bad idea as like another way for people to network for business owners. Like if that's what they want. I mean, I guess we'll learn at the breakfast.
Because we could have the 2 in-person ones, right? And then like maybe it's quarterly, but 2 are only in person.
Yeah.
When the weather's not ridiculous. And
Mhm.
then you get like a one in the weird seasons. Each one.
So Celine was willing to host. I don't know which location she wanted to host at. We could ask her though. I feel like the what is her restaurant called on? I'm sorry, I have brain farts today.
We catch.
Yeah, Sweet Catch. Maybe Sweet Catch is more central. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe the other one is. I don't know. But if she's willing to host, then I'm happy to ask Joelle from Brooklyn Perk to bring coffee. But I think we should ask some other people to bring like some baked goods or something because we don't have a budget, unfortunately. We got no money. So we kind of have to do it as like a potlucky kind of thing.
Does Brian Cunningham have a little bit of money? Or maybe Diana Richardson or Crystal Hudson?
Crystal might have some money. They usually have money in their re-election.
I mean, this is a great time to just use a
Right.
little bit of that budget for some budget back breakfast for to let the voters, business owners know that you are here. So maybe this is an opportunity to
Yeah.
have somebody come in and get their little few minutes of fame.
We should definitely invite them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So maybe we ask the electeds if they have any money that they can give us for this. I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
Okay. It's not a lot. I mean, we just need
Right.
some croissants and stuff.
Yeah.
People aren't going to be eating like so much anyway. It's not like,
Light breakfast.
yeah, it's not like waiter service. Like, how would you like your eggs? But
Yeah,
Right.
it's like coffee, tea.
And
yeah,
maybe we can get to that point, like have a real, once everything gets going, then have like a event for them or something.
yeah. And I think that the discount book might be a way that we could like raise money for things like this. Like if people spent like $5 on a card where they get discounts to each store, and then that money all gets pooled and we're able to do breakfasts and networking events and stuff like that. I don't know. It might be a small way to fundraise for CB9.
Yeah, how does that work in terms of fundraising? Like, what are the official rules and regulations around
Yeah.
that?
Without me, how can I say it? Okay, there's two separate things, right? Brooklyn Community Board 9 is a government agency, which we are all a part of right now. Okay. Separate and apart from it, I'm going to make that very clear. There is an entity that the board has that's inactive, but can definitely be activated called Friends of Brooklyn Community Board 9. And other community boards have it. You see it with precinct councils and other community-based entities. And it's essentially where, elected officials can give your organization money and then you can use it without the bureaucracy of the city of New York, as you can imagine. Right. So that's why Fred often says we don't have money because we can't use it like that. But if you use Friends of, then there is a possibility that you can just use it straight up, like all the nonprofits do across the board.
What's the like transparency stuff like with that? Because people, stuff. Once upon a time,
Yeah.
I was
So-
doing some politicky things. So like, what does that look like? How do we actually start that from, or like leverage it with something like this to really make sure people know?
Right. Well, so how is Friends of set up? The executive committee of the board oversees Friends of, if I'm correct. So you would, since it's kind of inactive, I think a proposal and an email to Fred would be the right course of action, just so the agency head is aware of this. And then if there are things that need to be purchased that we can't do through the board, then we'll have to essentially have the executive committee approve an expenditure. It would be like that.
Allison, go ahead.
So there would be no possibility to like have businesses pay like an annual membership or something to be listed in and be like part of this booklet or directory, which would help fund like the administration of it and also fund traffic to their businesses, and then potentially have consumers pay like $5 for this little thing. So like
Right.
we couldn't do that.
Possibly. I would have to circle back with Fred to see exactly what could be done. Yeah, let me circle back with Fred on that. But I would say I don't think that we're asking for like a lot of money, right?
Right.
So it shouldn't be that difficult to get the bucks. Depending on what it is, the board might be able to cover it. Depending on what it is, food is kind of difficult. Water I can do, but food's difficult. But depending on what it is, so if we create a proposal, I'll just take a look at it. And then I'll be able to see what we can and cannot do. And then if I can do that ahead of time, then we know exactly what to ask for.
I mean,
So-
how much money do you guys think we're gonna need?
If
How many people do you imagine attending this?
That's the problem. We don't know.
Yeah, we
I
don't
mean, I
know.
feel like if we can maybe get our politician friends to help us for this first go round, by the time we take the surveys and quantify like how many people actually, and also know capacity for these places, right? I was just looking at the picture. I'm like, okay, only so many people can show up.
Yeah,
Maybe put some limits, say you, and don't bring everybody and your mother. All of that stuff. Then we'll be able to know overall, like to do some of the initiatives that we have. Frequency, we can calculate all that stuff and really know the true number. Like, can the board cover it? I know you said food, so it might not, but small nominal fee or whatever. Think about those ideas that we can raise just this amount, something that they can see like, oh, my $10 or whatever it is actually did produce this thing. Because we've got the receipts, we got the pictures. Like this is what you invested in per se. And then we're gonna have all the stuff anyway. And then at least printing out things. It's all the stuff. But I think we should quantify it with that first survey and try to just get through the May one.
Dante, can you guys print the flyers for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just real quick, I will have to jump off in a second. In terms of flyer timing, is a few weeks reasonable? We don't need anything before a few weeks, right?
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks is fine.
As
Okay,
long as
cool.
it's before
Thank
our
you.
next meeting, I would say.
Before our next meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
which is in a month.
Yeah, hopefully before, I think if we can get it circulated, at least a draft form, before the meeting, so we can make comments, and then by the next meeting, we'd have a more definitive, a more stronger draft that we can, go through and vote on.
Is 3 weeks reasonable? I'm thinking of my committed responsibilities.
Are you talking about the last week of February?
March.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, whatever that is.
That brings us into March. That's March 4th.
March 1, yeah, March 4th.
I mean, only so much can go on a flyer. So I mean, like
Right.
once we see it, if there's really like it's gonna be a minor tweak,
Yeah.
and then we get to print. And then we get to really do and then you're gonna have the QR code on there. So that's really gonna have a lot more, that could potentially have a lot more information.
Jean Rene?
Yes. So I mean, I was thinking about the place where we have breakfast. I mean, if you're paying for the breakfast, are we gonna order in, or how are we gonna order breakfast at the place? So I think for us, it's also a way to bring them some business. So I want to know if we're gonna be a one-time thing on one location, or do you want to do the circle every over meeting at other places who serving breakfast in a community? So how that gonna work?
I think we talked about doing a little bit more of a potluck thing where people volunteered to bring food unless we could get some of the electeds to pay for food from one or two of the businesses. I mean, I think it's best if we farm it out so nobody feels left out. Like if we get RSVPs that Allen's Bakery is coming and Bonafini's coming, maybe those are like the first people we reach out to, you know,
Okay.
just because we know that they're going to be there. And then they could have like a little advertisement that's like, come get your current rolls at Allen's Bakery. And
Great brand adverts. What do you call it? Recognition. I've had the word, whatever. Brand stuff. Even if it's just tiny things or whatever, they may
Yeah.
volunteer.
Okay. That's it. It's good.
Giovanni,
And
you know,
I was gonna ask, when we're speaking to these businesses and inviting them to the May 7th event, should we tell them to like bring like some of their goodies to like sell? Or like is it more of like a focus on the food, or is it more like breakfast snacks to where people can walk around and mingle?
I think that the focus is actually the conversation.
Yeah.
It's up, the food and everything is supplemental.
it's the bribe.
And then are they bringing like a table?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it's fine, yeah.
do we tell them to like expect to have a table set up for them to like showcase their
No.
stuff?
It's not going to be anything that they can sell at. It's just where they can meet fellow business owners,
Okay,
build
chit chat
community. Yeah.
over coffee. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Over coffee.
Right. Yeah, we could have them like, we could do like what's it called, like a fish bowl, bring your business card type deal situation.
Yes.
And then I think in the 1 minute that we give people to introduce themselves, that they talk about their business and that kind of thing. That'll be their time for that.
And you can give like the halo thing like this. What do you call it? The stickers. You know,
Oh
my
yeah, little
name
name
is.
tags. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names, so that would be great.
We need a time frame. So we're gonna lock in. Is it gonna be 2 hours? Like what from what it sounded like, at least needs to be 2 hours. 9 to 11 with all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
And
Yeah.
also the other thing, we all seen it. You say you have 30 seconds, you got a minute to say whatever your thing is. It's 5 minutes later. So I think even maybe I don't know if we want to err on the side of like highlighting X amount of businesses and then hey, each session. I don't know, but I just feel like we're gonna talk, we want networking, we want to talk about CB9 and all other stuff. They're gonna be grabbing their food. We're gonna talk about resources. I think if our friends at like, I am Caribbean, they won't even share all the things that they are doing and stuff like that. Just like that alone, it's a solid. I don't know if 2 hours any longer than that is feasible for a business person on this first go around. I do like the idea of potentially, maybe having booths, maybe in the future, and then that's what we can actually talk about some of the points of like, hey, you come to these meetings so we can actually come up with ideas on how to leverage and do more, business promotion with amongst each other. But yeah, I feel like we could just the 2 hours business, add that value, like here's what you're getting, here's what we can do. We meet every month. We're here to serve you, et cetera, et cetera. Just efficiency sometimes, because I know if I was showing up, I'm like,
Think
my time.
flyer, we should say, please be on time. Because this like rolling in 30 minutes late for a meeting, it's just that's really not gonna flow well for business owners who've like cut out their time to be there, and then I don't know. I don't like
RSVPing in the QR code, it could be big bold, like, hey,
Yeah.
please, if you are like update the RSVP, even if the Google, sometimes you can go back in and you can update it.
Yep.
Big and bold.
like
Well,
we got a lot to talk about. Please be on time so we can get it all in 2 hours.
That's 2 hours, good. 2 hours in the morning.
Yeah. Wake everybody up. I'm sorry. I have to go get a charger, guys. Continue your conversation. I'll be right back.
No problem. Okay, cool.
So we have a date, May 7th,
Yeah,
May
May
7th.
7th.
9 to
9
11,
to 11?
Miss 9 a.m.
9 sharp to
Right.
11 sharp.
Go down to this.
Right. Here's the-
I'm gonna get some water.
Okay, so we got a date. We have
Yeah.
our ideas for the flyer. What
Is it
else?
is
Yeah.
it too much work to do like an RSVP and then look at how many people we have and then decide location?
So
I would
like,
think-
Well, I guess because she volunteered her space. I guess that's where I
I
was
kind
trying
of
to go
pushed
back
her
and
into
forth.
it, but
Well,
Right.
Oh,
maybe
Yeah.
we can ask her what's her capacity? And then
let's ask her what her
we have a
capacity is.
limit capacity. Like it's an exclusive event.
first
The
come,
sooner
first
you
served.
RSVP, the better.
yeah, we did an event at Brian's office, and I would say like 20-ish people came.
Yeah.
What do you think? Probably like 20 were
Yeah.
there, right?
It was about 20, yeah.
Yeah. We did 2 of them and probably like 20 both times. Kat, did you want to say something?
Hi, everyone. I'm new to this meeting, but mentioned this to me. I'm also the owner, founder, operator of the Bodega Lounge. So if this is something that wants to continue, since we are a wine lounge, open to also offer my space if we're looking for another additional space. But I did have a question. She had mentioned that she wanted to do like a Nostrand Avenue bar crawl, but when I was talking to her, I was thinking about like a business crawl or maybe even something like how Bed-Stuy has the Tompkins open streets. Just curious about what our district could do, and especially on Nostrand when there's so many like businesses and we're all communicating amongst each other, even if it's a collab with Little Caribbean, because they do so much with the different businesses in the strip too, if that's like a possibility somewhere down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Dante and I actually were talking about that last week. And we felt like the breakfast was a good first step. So at least people would get to know each other. But one thing for sure is that like we're not interested in doing a bar crawl that's just centered around drinking. I think CB9 is just like that's not really our thing. So it would I think it would be more beneficial for economic development if it was more like shops, restaurants, bars, artists popping up, like they do at Artmageddon down in Ditmas Park. They have this thing called PLG Arts that happens. But yeah, I think that's a great idea and something that we might want to talk about at the breakfast with other business owners, just like seeing where they're at and where they're interested in, that kind of thing. It would definitely take more time for us to get to a place where we could organize to get a crawl / maybe if we named it more like Neighborhood Spirit Day or something like that. That was like less alcohol focused would be
Right.
nicer just to be more inclusionary, but I mean, I think that's a great idea. What do you guys think? Regina?
Oh, no, I think CB9 is so diverse. So I feel like I wouldn't quite just say we're not that, right? It depends on what area you're in. I will say, yes, there's definitely limits. I do think like noting that she's offering a location to do certain events. That's one thing. I think we diversifying the times because morning versus, afternoon. I mean, if we are leveraging other people who volunteer their locations, just noting that consideration for options, right? So in everything that we do, I mean, some people can't eat gluten, right? Or whatever else. So there's all sorts of things. But I think that's where what you were talking about is finding leaders. So leveraging this partnership so they can connect with each other and do these types of things. But if we're connecting the whole entire district, then that's where people can leverage each other to develop things and, you know, have that access to each other. And then obviously we're supporting with getting information out, obviously marketing opportunities, leveraging things, partnerships, the block things, all of that stuff. That's where we could support something like that, is like a block thing too. We're all out over here on Utica. We're all out over here on Nostrand, Rogers, or whichever thing, to patronize and get to know the new businesses, old businesses, whatever have you. So I definitely think there's a lot of value in what was said. And then as we're doing stuff at certain events, we just ask for some consideration to give people opportunities to adhere to whatever their stuff is.
But Kat, if you're talking about hosting a business owner's happy hour, that would be awesome. Like as another event that we could do after the breakfast, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do so. And I totally hear what you're saying about not focusing on bar crawl per se, which is why I was like, ooh, maybe it could be like a Tompkins open street situation on Nostrand Avenue, where there is more concentrated businesses on Nostrand over than Rogers. That's like another like idea that I'm like was hoping, and how I've been kind of gunning for Nostrand to kind of have, so less of Flatbush is moving over to hanging out at Bed-Stuy in the summers, and we still have something to celebrate in the community and that can be family friendly.
Yeah, and I think maybe if I know Rita Joseph has been talking a lot about closing Lincoln Road between Ocean and Flatbush, which will help like 5 businesses.
Right.
But maybe if we have her at the breakfast and we explain to her that we want Nostrand closed or whatever our ideas are, because she has been floating that idea around. So she is thinking about closing streets. It's just like, maybe if we were all together and we're like, that's not really the street we want closed, it might be more beneficial to everybody if we, anyway, just an idea that we could talk to her about.
Okay.
Like close?
Like she wants to close
day
Lincoln
or a
Road
day?
during the summer for summer streets from, you know, that little strip when you walk into Prospect Park when you get out of the train station.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little risky to go like, I feel like some of the main corridor,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to learn about that in these breakfasts, learn about different locations that people have. Maybe there's a street that's, you know, adjacent. Or not adjacent. Is that the word I'm looking for? Adjacent? I don't know. I've been out of school for a long time. There you go. Thank you. Trust but verify. That we could close, that's smaller, that's not going to impact buses and just all of the stuff in these little streets that are over here. But yeah, I think that would be a great idea to actually get her involved if she's already talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
But one that would make an impact by more businesses, maybe, and maybe it can expand Nostrand and Rogers. Maybe it's a round the block.
Maybe it's like Rutland, right? And that goes all the way from one side to the other, and the whole street's closed, and there's art and I don't know. It's just a way to connect Flatbush to Rogers to Nostrand, because if you close Nostrand, then like, what about Rogers and what about Utica and what about Flatbush? It's like, I don't know.
I would pick one.
I feel like
figuring out one that has a business that's on one of those side streets could be interesting. So they actually might see more foot traffic and discovery. Just if we go that rate, giving people more opportunity to have more visibility, I think would be great for traffic.
Okay, so Allison, are you still on with us or is she gone?
I think she's gone.
Okay.
No, she's there.
Sorry, I'm here.
That's okay.
Hi.
So maybe we'll send the stuff that we want on the flyer to you, and when you have it, you could, I guess, send it to the group email, because Dante, you're sending everybody else's emails.
Yep.
Okay. Great. And then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that there was copy that Regina is working on, which is amazing already. So yeah, whatever I have been listening and like mentally taking notes about like the visual hierarchy maybe of this flyer. And so whenever the copy is like ready to go, just maybe email me or like tag me in the comments of the Google Doc and I can get started on the flyer. And then yeah, email it back out to everybody.
Great. And then I'm gonna ask some electeds to see if they're willing to donate any money for this.
Yes, please. Because,
Uh,
we need money to do anything. You need money
need
first
the
for the
money.
flyers, for the paper, for everything. So you definitely need a lot of money.
I was also gonna call the intern guy that I have the contact with and see if he wanted to come too, talk about interns. But that's for later. Is there anything else that we need to do before our next meeting?
So I have action items, flyers for business owner. Dante set up Google Doc. Vanessa, you were reaching out to elected officials. Circle back on Friends of CB9. Discovery, I have this for like after flyers, but discovery for leaders in the corridors to help lead initiatives. So that's post flyers.
Great.
And I'll share this immediately, Dante, to the email address.
Okay.
And then in the next meetings, we can talk about the structure and how we want to lay it out and all the other stuff.
Yeah, this was good. I mean, what I heard, Madam Chair, was the breakfast. The breakfast would lead into identifying persons of contact on these corridors, the leaders that we will hopefully identify, which would hopefully lead into some type of crawl, not specific to alcohol, but to many industries, which would also later lead into a shop local. That's what I heard.
Also, question 2, can we add like since we're in February, are you guys getting interns? Because are we going to get support on this little, like once we get the data and then be able to do all of the stuff?
Yeah, we always participate as a SYP work site, so we will be getting some folks in the office. Yeah, so that like stuff they can do, definitely. Like,
Great. So they could maybe update. Awesome.
yeah. That Diana's resource guide, I've actually kind of worked on it a little bit, but we've got something.
Yeah, I have a list of Flatbush too. That's not. It's been a while since I've worked on it, but I have some information that I can share with you.
Yeah, honestly, I think pounding the pavement, hitting and getting them to enter their information so there's access. I think even an inquiry on like, would you like to share your content? Like if we have the content there, I don't know if the guide is just going to be like, here's the address, this is what they do, maybe a little blurb about their business. And then maybe another layer of like actually contact amongst them. Do they want to share that so they can properly communicate very easily? Because I don't think that really is a very easy thing right now. And that's that resource. So honestly, if you're pulling it in through Google Forms, which nicely lays everything out via Excel or the Google, then bada boom, bada bang, you can make it digital and have these interns fancy it up real quick and have the digital. Because I don't know if you have the actual working document from Diane Richardson, which is going to be like, if you're starting from scratch, then maybe there's another way to upload and do it digital or something.
Yeah, we basically took the PDF and made it into Word and had to reformat everything. I had one of the SYPs do it last year. So there's something there. So
nice. Okay.
But we'll start. Yeah, we'll be all right.
A little intern task.
Muted.
Sorry, guys. I think this is a good meeting. I think this will be a good event if we can get it where we want it to be. And it should be a good resource for people because got a long way to go. Anybody else have any questions, comments?
I'm happy with this
Anything?
meeting because we are back to how we started initially about all the things we can do, and I feel like this will get it
Yeah,
going.
get it going. And guys, if you want to invite anybody to our meetings, please do so. Maybe other business owners. I don't know if you talk to anybody, but the more the merrier. We're all in this
Okay.
together.
I'll give just one quick update and then I got notification from the Department of Transportation that a speed light was approved at the intersection of Franklin Avenue and Union Street. FYI. So if you know anybody in that area, let them know. I'll have it in the e-blast and I'll report it to the board. But if you live in that area, you know, it might be exciting for you.
Cool. All right. So what do I have to say?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh yeah, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second? Anyone?
Is there a second?
That's it.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.